Good morning. Lesson 5-3. Today we're going to subtract linear expressions. Yesterday we added them. Subtract gets a little trickier, so stick with me here, okay? First, we've got to do some additive inverse. So if you remember before, the additive inverse is when the expression or the number you have, you add or subtract something to it and it gets you to 0. So like 5's additive inverse was -5. -3's additive inverse was 3. Okay, so if 2x plus 1, its additive inverse would be, this has to be negative, and this needs to be times by a negative. But what if it's like -3x plus 1? This one's already a negative. Well, you have to get this back to 0. So this back to 0 is a positive 3x, and this back to 0 would be a -1. So you have to look at each term individually, okay? So over here with your check, -7x plus 3's additive inverse. Well, what's the opposite of -7x? 7x. What's the opposite of plus 3? -3. That's going to be kind of a big deal here pretty soon because just wait for it. Okay, just wait for it. So if we have 8y minus 5, and we're going to take away this linear expression, 3y minus 4, see how there's the subtract sign in between? Well, this is when these parentheses serve a purpose. There's really a 1 out here, and this is -1 times all the stuff. So you have to distribute that -1 to everything. So what you end up with is 8y, -1 times 3 is -3y, and then we have -5, and then we have -1 times +4 is -4. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see that. Okay, we have the 8y minus 5, and then this -1 times the 3y and times the 4. So both of those become negative. So 8 minus 3 is 5, and -5 and -4 is -9. I know, it gets a little tough, but I think we can handle it. I'm not going to pay attention to all this. We're just going to do this mathematically. So here we've got 6x plus 5. And then we've got the subtract out here. This subtract has to be multiplied by everything inside. It has to be distributed to everything in here. So a negative times 3x is going to be -3x, and a negative times -2 is a +2. So 6x minus 3x is 3x, and 5 plus 2, 7, positive. Okay, let's try this check. I hate this little thing they put. It gets in my way. I should write them a letter. Okay, negative times a positive xy is a -8x, not an xy, an 8x. And a negative times a -7 is a +7. If you think of this as -1, -1 times -7 equals +7. Then we can do what we need to. -3 minus 8 is -11x, and 9 plus 7 is +16. Okay, the real tricky part is this negative has to be distributed to all the things inside the parentheses. And then you can get rid of the parentheses. All right, let's do this long one here. All the fractions. I'm going to do it over here because I like this spot with the lines. So I'm going to write -1/6 x plus 3/4. Now, let's look at these denominators and come up with something. What do all these numbers go into? Well, these 3 go into 12, but this one doesn't. So I bet we're going to have to use 24 for all of them. 4 times 6 is 24, so 3 times 6 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24, so 1 times 4 is 4. All right. Let's change these over here because then we can write them over here one time. So we need these to be in 24s. 8 times 3 is 24, so 1 times 3 is 3. And 2 times 12 is 24, so 1 times 12 is 12. Okay, now a negative times all this is going to be a negative, so negative 1224x. And then a negative times a negative is a positive, so we're going to add 3/24. Okay. Negative 4 minus 12 is negative 1624x, and 18 plus 3 is 21 over 24. Positive. Now we got to simplify those back down. 21 and 24 share a 3. 21 divide 3 is 7. 24 divide 3 is 8. 16 and 24 share an 8. 16 negative divide 8 is negative 2, and 24 divide 8 is 3. Remember, all of the fraction stuff we should kind of know by now. Today's new thing was subtracting these linear expressions, that the subtract has to be distributed to everything inside of the parentheses. Okay? Rewind and rewatch that if you need to. Practice this a lot. Good luck.